What's up, guys? Eric here with MajorLeagueTrading.com. And in tonight's free video, I just want to make a quick note that we are coming into, and we are in fact, the last full week of trading here for the year. So next Monday is going to be Christmas. And essentially, if we really don't make anything happen this week, then chances are next week isn't going to be the best week to trade, lighter volume, and all of those things. And we may even see some of that start to trickle in here towards the end of this week. So we might realistically only have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, maybe a little bit on Thursday, and then Friday is probably going to be a no-go just in terms of volume, right? I could be wrong on this. Something could happen. We could get a little volatility coming in this market. But as of right now, that's kind of the way in which I'm planning out going into the end of this year. Now, with that being said, there's a couple things to take a look at here from today. Number one is the Russell here was a little bit weaker than I expected. We actually took initial longs here in the Russell on this pullback into opening print. That was able to go ahead and tag new highs and then ultimately come back and trail us out on the back half of that trade. I thought that, given the move and everything from FOMC, the time in which we had, and that, at that same moment in time, we were having the NASDAQ kind of pulling back off of its level. I thought we were going to see, which was a level here at 876.50. So that was that first morning, pullback here into the opening print, which was, it traded really, really nicely here in the NASDAQ, traded really, really nicely in the S&Ps to the tick, held opening print, right? We're seeing a theme here with this from today. We're going back and forth. We're flip-flopping. A couple videos back, I talked about the NASDAQ versus the Russell. And today, I thought the Russell was going to be the one for us. Turns out, it ends up being the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ, the leader here, up 0.6% on the day. We did get a decent little pullback here into the close there. But overall, this thing just still continues to truck higher, right? So what does that mean for, kind of the rest of the week? Well, right now, my eyes are still focused on the Russell, and the reason being is that if we can crack this 2016.60 level, then there's room all the way up into 2042.50s in here. So, and realistically, there's like a 2045.30 level. It's untested up there as well. So give or take, there's about 30 points here once we can get up through 2016s in the Russell, and we've been seeing this, like I said, that back and forth. NASDAQ takes over, Russell takes over, and sometimes even inside of the intraday action, we'll see that as well. So I do think we'll probably see that at some point this week, but we need to wait for Russell to get up through that 2016.60s first in order to see that happen. A couple other things that I was able to piece together here today. If you haven't already caught on, there's a running theme here with just how important opening print is. We saw it in the S&Ps, we saw it in the NASDAQ, we saw it in the Russell, and then again in Tesla here today. So I think every person and their grandmother and their ex-girlfriend's cousin is like interested in trading Tesla to the long side for some unknown reason here between last week and this week, right? It's been one of those ones that hasn't made the massive move like everything else. It's gone sideways. It tried to break down last week. And then, after Wednesday, Thursday, it managed to get a pretty decent rally to the upside. And it was all in which I saw, kind of across the board in terms of, any kind of scanning and things like that and names that people were watching. It was kind of nuts to see that. And my thinking was, and I typed it in the Discord today, we would see some sort of, initial pop maybe out of this, but I felt like there was so many eyeballs on this that I just had to think that it failed. And once we were able to finally get through opening print on the day, that is ultimately what happened. And this does have some relative weakness to the overall markets. So with that being said, I'm not opposed. It has to develop a little bit more, right? But I'm not opposed to maybe trading Tesla short if we can get some weakness out of the NASDAQ, maybe when that Russell finds its strength, right? So there's a lot of different pieces that could come together for this, but I think that is one that is also a possibility here on the week. Now, taking a look at the strong names on the board, NVIDIA here far outpaces anything in which I've seen on the day outside of one earnings name. And this one here, I think, has room and has potential up to those 520 untested overnight earnings highs. So I'm definitely interested in this one if it can present some sort of opportunity here into the end of the week. And last but not least here, Costco. This was a second day earnings move. I talked about this actually last night here. This is the Sunday write-up that I do, just going through kind of my analysis, my homework, the things from last week that ended up working, what's coming up this week. And what I ended up writing in here from Costco is we broke to new all-time highs last week. With earnings giving it a big push on Friday, I could see some nice continuation out of this. My game plan was a 653.90 pullback in a market that isn't falling apart, and I like longs. Now, we didn't get that 653.90 pullback here today. This thing just opened and started to rip to the upside here. It looks like this thing might want to trade $700, which is kind of crazy here. But at the moment, this one is going to be a long on pullbacks, probably down here in towards 674. So if we could see something like that. NVIDIA for potential longs, and then maybe, just maybe, Tesla for some shorts. At the moment, those are the names in which I'm watching here, and again, waiting for that Russell to get up over its level. So if I missed anything, if you guys have any symbols you want me to take a look at, or you feel like I'm not seeing, feel free to drop those in the comments below. Hope you guys had a great Monday coming into the last full week of trading for the year. As always, subscribe, like if you haven't, all those fun buttons down there, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.